Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Mamani Kalita, Associate Professor, Department of Philosophy, Dispur College. Today I will discuss on the topic, the contribution of Indian philosophy to Indian knowledge system. NEP 2020 has introduced Indian knowledge system to bridge the gap between traditional wisdom and modern knowledge. Its main aim is to preserve, promote, and integrate Indian knowledge system into modern education and research. Indian philosophy and Indian knowledge system are vast and deeply interconnected, especially for its spiritual and ethical teaching. IKS is a broader concept that includes ancient Indian contribution to various fields of knowledge. It includes the areas like Vedic and Upanishadic knowledge, Ayurveda, yoga and meditation, mathematics and astronomy, linguistic, Arthashastra, Dharmashastra, performing arts, etc. Indian philosophy integrates metaphysical inquiries, ethical teaching and practical wisdom, emphasizing self-realization, moral conduct and harmony with the universe. A significant part of IKS is rooted in Vedic and Upanishadic knowledge, which forms the foundation of Indian knowledge system and spiritual tradition. The Vedas are the oldest scriptures of India, forming the foundation of Indian spirituality and knowledge. The Vedas also contain auxiliary sciences called Vedangas, which includes phonetics, grammar, astronomy, etc. The Upanishads are philosophical texts that explore the deeper meaning of existence, consciousness, and the self. They are also called Vedanta, or the end of the Vedas. The main objective of this lecture is to explore the philosophical perspectives of Indian knowledge system through the deeper insight of spirituality and ethical teaching of Indian philosophy, which is the foundation of Indian heritage and culture. First, we will discuss about the Vedas, which have great contribution to Indian knowledge system. Vedas are considered as the foundation of Indian philosophy. They are regarded as the oldest and secret texts. They are the roots of Indian philosophy, which are derived from the Aryan minds. It is transmitted from one generation to the other generation, so it is known as Shruti. It is transmitted from one generation to the other generation. The word Veda is derived from the Sanskrit root Ved, which means the knowledge. There are four kinds of Vedas. They are Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. Now we will discuss them one by one. Rig Veda. It is a collection of 1028 Sanskrit hymns and 10,600 verses in all. It was composed by poets addressed to Agni, Indra, Soma, and other gods. Yajur Veda. It consists of prose mantras and also in part of Vedas, borrowed and adapted from the Rig Veda. It includes about 1,875 verses. Samaveda. It consists of 1,549 stanzas taken almost entirely from the Rig Veda. It has two parts. The first part includes 4 melody collections and the second part includes 3 verse books. Atharva Veda. It is the text belonging to Atharvan and Angirasa poets. It has 760 hymns and about 160 of it are in common with the Rig Veda. Most of the verses are musical, but some sections are in prose. Sometimes the Vedas are also known as Troy, omitting the Atharva Veda. Rig means verse, Sama means song, Yajur means a prose pages. There are two main parts of the Vedas. One is Karma Kanda and the other is Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda consists of 3 parts, Samhita, Brahmana, and Aranyakas. Samhita is the collection of mantras, Brahmanas depicts rituals for sacrifices, and Aranyakas is the forest treatises which gives importance to meditation. The other part of the Vedas is the Jnana Kanda, which comprises of the Upanishads. Now, Upanishads have a pivotal role in the Indian knowledge system. Upanishads are the concluding part of the Vedas. They are called Vedanta, or the end of the Vedas. The word Upanishad was derived from the Sanskrit root Upa, Ni, and Sat. Upa means nearby, Ni means devotedly, and Sat means sitting down. Upanishat means sitting down of the disciple near the teacher in a devoted manner to receive knowledge. They are spiritual and philosophical texts that are called the cream of the Vedas. There are more than 200 Upanishads, but only 11 Upanishads are recognized as important and authentic. The 11 Upanishads are Isha, Kena, Katha, Prasna, Mundaka, Mandika, Toitariya, Oitariya, Sandaka, Brihanaka, Satasatara Upanishad. According to Mukti Upanishad, these Upanishads are divided according to the 4 Vedas as follows. For example, Rig Veda, Oitariya Upanishad, Yajur Veda, Brihanaka Upanishad, Isha Upanishad, Toitariya Upanishad, Satasatara Upanishad, and Katha Upanishad. And Samaveda, Sandaka Upanishad, and Kana Upanishad, Atharva Veda, Mandaka Upanishad, Mandika Upanishad, and Prasna Upanishad. Indian knowledge system has great importance to the Upanishads. The Upanishads are the roots of the philosophical system. Brahmavidya, or knowledge of Brahman, is the core of Upanishad. Without understanding Upanishad, it is impossible to get an insight into the Indian knowledge system and culture. Upanishads teaches all kinds of laws to entire humanity for prosperity in various fields. There are 6 Vedangas, or technical subjects, which are also known as the limbs of the Vedas. The 6 technical subjects of Vedanga are phonetics or Shiksha, ritual or Kalpa, grammar or Vyakarana, etymology or Nirukta, Mitar or Sandas, astrology or Jyotisha. Besides, there are 4 Upavedas. Upavedas means applied knowledge. It has great importance to Indian knowledge system. They are medicine or Ayurveda associated with the Rig Veda, archery or Dhanurveda associated with the Yajur Veda, music and secret dance, that is Gandharva Veda, associated with the Samaveda, military science or Sahasrastra, that is associated with the Atharva Veda. There are 18 Puranas which have pivotal role to Indian knowledge system. The 18 Puranas are Brahma Purana, Padma Purana, Vishnu Purana, Shiva Purana, Vayu Purana, Bhagavat Purana, Narada Purana, Markandeya Purana, Barak Purana, Agni Purana, Skanda Purana, Linga Purana, Kurma Purana, Bhavishya Purana, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Vamana Purana, and Matsya Purana. Smriti. Smriti has an important role to Indian knowledge system. Smriti means remembered text. The initial literature is believed to be a direct revelation of the cosmic sound of truth, heard by ancient rishis who then translated what was heard into something understandable by humans. They are man-made and authoritative. They include the 6 Vedangas, the Itihasa epics like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and the Manusmriti. Now we will discuss about Manusmriti, which has a great importance to Indian knowledge system. Manusmriti and Arthashastra both have important role in Indian knowledge system. The Manusmriti, also known as Manava Dharma Shastra or the laws of Manu, is one of the many legal texts and constitution. It presents a discourse given by Manu and Phrigu on dharma topics such as duties, rights, laws, conduct, virtues, and others. Varnashrama Dharma has great importance to Indian knowledge system. The ancient society is divided into duties, not in caste. The doctrine of Varnashrama mainly consists of Varna Dharma and Ashrama Dharma. Varna Dharma implies duties of 4 respective Varnas. Ashrama Dharma implies the respective duties of 4 ashramas of life. The 4 ashramas of life are Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Now we will discuss these 4 ashramas one by one. Brahmacharya, the stage as a student is spent in celibate, controlled, sober, and pure contemplation under the guidance of a guru, building up the mind for spiritual knowledge. Grihastha, the stage is the householder stage. in which one marries and satisfies kamo and artha in one's married and professional life. Banaprastha, the retirement stage, is gradual detachment from the material world, spending more time in religious practices and embarking on holy pilgrimages. Sannyasa, the stage of asceticism, one renounces all worldly attachments to find the divine through detachments from worldly life and lead to moksha. There are 4 varnas. Varnas means in Sanskrit, that is color, form, appearance. The Brahmins, teachers and the priests, the Kshatriyas, warriors, nobles and kings, the Vaishyas, farmers, merchants and businessmen, and the Sudras, servants and laborers. There are 9 systems in Indian philosophy. Generally, Indian philosophy is divided into 2 classes, namely orthodox, that is Astika, and heterodox, that is Nastika. There are 6 Astika philosophical systems, which are popularly known as Saradarsana. They are Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa and Vedanta. These are known as orthodox or Astika not because they believe in God, but because they accept the authority of the Vedas. The Mimamsa and Sankhya do not believe in God, yet they are called orthodox because they believe in the authority of the Vedas. The 3 heterodox systems are the Sarvakas, the Buddhas and the Jainas, because they do not believe in the authority of the Vedas. The Mimamsa and Vedanta may be regarded as the direct continuation of the Vedic culture. The Vedic tradition has 2 sides. One is ritualistic and the other is speculative side, that is karma and jnana kanda. The Mimamsa emphasizes the ritualistic aspect and evolve a philosophy to justify and help the continuation of the Vedic rites and rituals. The Vedanta emphasizes the speculative aspect of the Vedas and developed an elaborate philosophy out of Vedic speculations. Both of them are sometimes called Mimamsa, and for the sake of distinction, the first is called the Purva Mimamsa, that is Karma Mimamsa, and the second is called Uttara Mimamsa or Jnana Mimamsa. But most usual names of these 2 are Mimamsa and the Vedanta philosophy. The concept of spirituality and ethical teaching in Indian philosophy, Swami Vivekananda has pointed out that every civilization and culture has a particular life center, a dominant characteristics and trend. According to him, life center of the Indian culture is spirituality. By spirituality is meant a way of life oriented to the ultimate purpose of life, which is the realization of the Supreme Spirit or God. Philosophy arose in India as an inquiry into the mystery of life and existence. Indian sages called rishis or seers developed social techniques of transcending the senses and the ordinary mind, collectively called yoga. Indian philosophy is not a Hindu philosophy. The firm faith is in an eternal moral order dominates the entire history of Indian philosophy except the Sarvaka materialist. Even in the ancient writings of the orthodox Hindu philosophers like Sarva Darsana Samgraha of Madhavacharya, which tries to present in one place the views of all, that is Sarva. Advaita Vedanta emphasizes non-dualism, where the individual self is identical with Brahman. The true spirituality involves realizing this unity through jnana and detachment from material illusion. Dharma is the ethical foundation in Indian philosophy. Dharma means righteous duty, which is central to Indian ethics, guiding human actions based on righteousness and cosmic order. It varies according to one's role in society and universal moral law. The teaching of dharma, non-violence, truth, and self-discipline remain relevant in contemporary society, guiding individuals towards a harmonious and enlightened existence. There are Astanga Yoga or eightfold means of yoga in Indian philosophy. Yoga advocates control over the body, the senses and the mind. A sound mind needs a sound body. Sensual attachments and passion distract the body as well as mind. Yoga gives us the eightfold part of discipline, that is Ashtanga Yoga. They are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara. The 5 external aids to, these are known as the 5 external aids to yoga, that is Bohiranga Sadhana. The 3 Antaranga Sadhana or internal aids to yoga are Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. Now we'll discuss about the ethics of Jainism. The 3 jewels of or 3 Ratna of Jainism, which occupy a vital role in Indian knowledge system, are right faith, Samyak Darsana, right knowledge, Samyak Jnana, right conduct, Samyak Charitra. There are 5 ethical principles prescribed by Mahavira to his followers. These are Ahimsa or non-violence, Satya or truthfulness, Asteya or non-stealing, Brahmacharya or celibacy, Aparigraha or non-possession. They consist in abstention from injury, falsehood, stealing, sex indulgence and acceptance of unnecessary gain. They are called small vows, Anubrata, when there is partial abstention from them. They are called great vows, Mahavrata, when there is total abstention from them. Laymen ought to observe the small vows, monks should to observe the great vows. There are, according to Buddha, there are eightfold paths, that is Sattari, Arja, Sattani. Their life is full of suffering, Dukha. There is a cause of suffering, Dukha Samudaya. It is possible to stop suffering, Dukha Nirodha. There is a way to the cessation of suffering, Dukha Nirodha Marga. Buddhism believes in triple path, that is Sila or right conduct, Samadhi or right concentration, and Prajna or right knowledge. Sila and Samadhi lead to Prajna, which is the direct cause of liberation. The Buddhists believe of eightfold noble path, which have great importance to Indian knowledge system. The eightfold noble path or Ashtangika Marga of Buddhism are right faith, right resolve, right speech, right action, right living, right effort, right thought, and right concentration. There are contribution to Indian knowledge system. There is a great contribution of Indian philosophy to Indian knowledge system. The Vedas and Upanishads have great contribution to Indian knowledge system. The theory of pramanas or means of valid knowledge have great contribution to Indian knowledge system. All the 9 systems of Indian philosophy accepted the pramanas. There are altogether 6 pramanas in Indian philosophy. They are Pratyaksha, Anumana, Sabda, Upamana, Arthapatti and Anupalabdhi. Ancient Indian universities like Nalanda and Takshashila incorporated spiritual and ethical teaching. Gurukul education emphasis self-discipline, respect for teachers and moral values with knowledge. The concept of Rajadharma influenced governance as well as texts like Arthashastra and Manusmriti. The idea of non-violence influenced leaders like Mahatma Gandhi. Now we are going to the concluding part of this session. The relationship between Indian philosophy and the Indian knowledge system is deeply interconnected, as philosophy provides the foundational framework of India's diverse knowledge tradition. Indian philosophy, with its rich diversity including Vedic, Upanishadic, Buddhist, Jaina and other schools, has influenced disciplines such as medicine, Ayurveda, linguistics, Vyakarana, astronomy, Jyotisha, mathematics and political science, that is Arthashastra. Indian knowledge system, on the other hand, reflects the philosophical emphasis on holistic understanding and interconnectedness. Concepts like pramana, means of knowledge, or the doctrine of karma, dharma and moksha inform practical application in various fields. Indian philosophy's emphasis on both empirical and transcendental knowledge ensures that the knowledge system integrates reason, intuition, and spiritual insight. Thus, the synthesis of spirituality and ethical teaching in Indian philosophy has deeply influenced the Indian knowledge system, shaping education, governance, healthcare, and social ethics. The Indian tradition does not separate knowledge from ethical living, emphasizing a holistic approach where wisdom, morality, and self-realization work together for personal and collective well-being. Thank you.